Hey guys, I'm Legio, and this is City Skylines Mahigan Episode 2, Downtown Build. So, you didn't miss an episode. What you're seeing is the downtown road layout, and basically what happened is as I was building this and recording it, the recording didn't encode correctly, and I lost the recording. So, instead of going back and trying to rebuild it, I opted to just move on forward for two main reasons. One, it took me a long time to build this. I know, it could be a lot better, right? But, 2-3 hours was a lot of time for me to lose. Like I said, I don't get to play this game a lot, so when I build it has to count. Two, you guys have probably seen dozens of downtown road layouts, so you didn't miss anything special. The only things I'll point out is I tried to use the metro as the beginning point for it. So it acts as a loop like in Chicago, because that's what the city's based on. And it kind of worked out from there. We are going to have our waterfront down here. We're going to have our financial core in here. And we're going to have a port over here for people to come in. And then it's going to work its way out here and across the highway. So you'll kind of see what the idea is as it goes along. And, it's nothing special, but I am kind of happy with it. I do want to give major props to YouTuber Urban Architect. His video of how to build a downtown or build a realistic downtown really inspired what I did here. And I kind of shamelessly stole a lot of his work and ideas. But, to be fair, he stole them from real life. So I think we're fairsies. So, all right, let's get into something I'm really excited to start doing for the episodes. And that is including some history to the episode. So some background on me. I have a degree in history, and so I'm a huge history buff. I love history, and I wanted to incorporate that into part of this. And one of the ways that I found I could do that without it being absolutely ridiculous was to do a brief historical background on different buildings and assets that I include into the game, or if I do something kind of weird on the game, like when and if I build a university, give the history of the university. So there will be fictitious history or alternate history, and there will also be factual history. But today we're going to do factual history, and it's going to be on the building you see on your screen. That is Penn Station, which is located in Manhattan, New York City, at the intersection of 7th and 8th Avenue. It was built between 1901 and 1910, opening on 1927, 1910 to the public. It acted as a major transport hub for the city that connected them out to the suburbs and to other major metropolitan cities in the U.S., such as Chicago, St. Louis, and even later on Miami, Florida. Its peak use was in 1945, where it serviced over 100 million passengers that year. But it did eventually decline in the 1950s due to the American highway system coming into play and the major use of air travel. Beginning in October 1963, they began a demolition project which took out the top portion of it, which is what you see on your screen, and they began to rebuild it. They kept the underground rail because it was considered too vital to get rid of that, seeing as still millions used it. In response to the demolition, famous architect Vincent Scully once said, "One entered the city like a god, one scuttles in now like a rat," referencing that when you came in, and I'll show pictures of it on the screen now, when it came in, this building was absolutely gorgeous. Just do a quick Google search for Penn Station, and you'll see the interior is, in my words, architecturally stunning. And after they demolished it, you can see pictures of the demolition too. It's not good, guys. It's a whole bag of not good. So, with that said, one good thing that did come out of it though is it led to an architectural preservation front, where they wanted to start preserving the architecture that was considered, really good. Can't think of a better way to say that, but without trying to find the silver lining is without this getting demolished, we may have lost other historical pieces of architecture. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because it's a shame. Look at how And this is just an in-game rendering. Imagine how good that looked in real life. Today, where it stood now stands Madison Square Garden. The underground hub is still actively going, and it still has its use and it had history. I suggest you Google it and look it up. I'd go more in depth, but this is a City Skylines channel, not a history channel. If I want to do that, I'll do a history channel later on. So with all that said, let's get into the build, guys. I hope you enjoy it, and please remember to like and subscribe, because every like and subscribe makes me feel a little better on the inside. All right, enjoy some music and some quick play footage. talk about a little bit of what we're doing here. So I put a whole bunch of towers and skyscrapers on a strip of road up there just to make sure I knew exactly which ones I wanted to use. And when I say exactly, I had no idea which ones I was going to use to start off with. I had a few that I knew I really wanted to use, but you know, I kind of played it by ear, so to speak, on this. There's a lot of footage I had to cut out because by the time I got done recording all of the build, I had well over 2.5 hours, and even whenever I speed it up, it's almost a 30-40 minute video. And part of that's because, as you can see, I'm start off detailing a lot with everything, but I inevitably opt to put that off for a later day. I might have a whole episode dedicated to going back and detailing the downtown, because you know, I feel like if you're interested in doing hyper detail and stuff like that, you'd watch it. So yeah, that's basically it for that. I struggled a lot with this on building placement, making sure everything looked right. There were times where I put a building down and I come back about 5 minutes later and I realized I don't like that, so I had to move it and change it. So when I typically was building cities, playing vanilla, it was real easy. I just fill everything there with zone, and it just fill it in for me, and then I go back later and put the surfaces as I needed. And honestly, that's easy and it works. But I'm trying this plot the growables thing, and I'm really enjoying it. It's just very time consuming, and as I've said multiple times, I don't have a whole lot of time to sit down and just play this game and really get into it. I'm trying to, because I enjoy it. This is kind of my my therapy, so to speak. So that's that. At the end of the video, I think the skyline turns out fairly decent. It might get tweaked here or there, but in the next episode, I'm probably going to take a break from the downtown area. Oh, before I forget, I broke the downtown into specific zones, and I might show that at the end with the Let's Play, but I kind of took the district paintbrush and I painted out like financial, residential, mixed area, public use, and stuff like that, and that just kind of gave me an operating guideline. I cut out me doing that because you guys probably wouldn't be interested in seeing that. Oh, for the history thing, I do plan on continuing that. I enjoy that a lot. If there's a building in particular you see that you want a history lesson on, it's not a problem. Just, try to describe it as best you can in the comments below, and I'll try to find it. If it's a real building, I have no problem researching it. I'm pretty good at researching history and stuff like that, so it's not a problem at all if you actually are interested in it. So I've said a number of times the city is themed off Chicago, and that's because my family's originally from Chicago. I spent a lot of time up in the Chicagoland area, mostly in the summers. My family, and so my nuclear family, so to speak, my mother and father are from the southern area, and but she had family up in Chicago, so we go visit them every summer and for the holidays. And I spent probably more time up there than I did in my actual home for a while, so Chicago was kind of like a home away from home for me. Part of the city is going to be influenced by St. Louis, and I know what you're thinking. St. Louis and Chicago, they're rivals. Why would you do that? Well, because I live in St. Louis now. I moved here for a job months ago, and honestly, St. Louis has been really good to me, and I've never been one to jump on the I'm from here, so I hate you because you're from there. I think that's silly. The way I look at it, we all live on this planet, and we've got to start trying to find a way to get along, which, hope we can do someday. But anyways, rambling. Yeah, I live in St. Louis now, and honestly, looking at the architecture and some of the ways that the area is laid out, I actually really like. Like, if you're familiar with St. Louis, you have your downtown area, which is right on the Mississippi, but St. Louis goes west. Because if you go east, you go into Illinois. And if you're from St. Louis, you don't want to be in Illinois. Everyone in St. Louis dislikes Illinois. I mean, there's a lot of people in Chicago who dislike Illinois. Illinois doesn't like Illinois. I can say that, I'm from there. But St. Louis just goes west, young man. And you run into dozens of little towns. But one of the features I really like about St. Louis is they have a massive park called Forest Park. There's a ton of stuff to do in that park. Like, they have a zoo, they have a lake, they have a golf course. I mean, you name it, this park has it. And I'm going to try to incorporate that into the city of Mahigan at some point. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of background about me and, the amalgamation that is going to be Mahigan, which is St. Louis meets Chicago with a little bit of influence of New York. Obviously, I'm pulling a lot of buildings from New York. I mean, it's kind of hard to build in city skylines without using New York buildings if you're going to have a big downtown or what I'm planning to do is like a Brooklyn styled area at a later time. St. Louis and Chicago both have their own areas. They're just not as well known. So Brooklyn will suffice for this. So there's some buildings in here that I took out because one of them is down at the bottom screen. I don't know if you see it. It likes to do what I call flickering. And I've turned the settings up. I've played with the settings. I can't get it to not flicker. When it's not flickering, I love the look of it, but I can't stand the flicker. Another thing is you'll probably see as the episode goes on, the graphics improve a little bit. I played with the settings here and there. Like I said, I not really got to play with the game a whole lot besides in a vanilla sense. So themes and graphics, mods, and all that, they're still fairly new to me. I'm trying to make it look good, as realistic as possible for what my PC can run and, produce decent quality videos. So hopefully it doesn't look too bad and you guys enjoy at least a little bit of what it is. It's nothing fancy. So with that all said, I'll probably let the music play for a little bit and just find one more reminder. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I have very few followers and very few views right now, but at the end of the day, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. But it would be nice to wake up one day and see at least 100 views on a video. So, tell your friends if they enjoy City Skylines, and if you kind of want to watch this and mock what I'm doing and be like, hey, you're doing it wrong, by all means do that. You at least watched and gave me the satisfaction of entertaining you, I guess. So, yeah. That is basically it for my talk. Again, like and subscribe, and back to some music, which sounds a lot better than my voice. Enjoy. Okay, and we're back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So let's talk about what we did, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do. What we did do is we got the financial district, which is going to act as the core of our downtown build. Got some tall buildings in there. Started our skyline. I think it's a good start, honestly. I really like it. Probably one of the better downtowns I've ever put together. And by that I mean it's the only downtown using plot the growables that I've ever put together. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You'll see more in the cinematics. So in the next episode, this is pretty empty over here. What we're going to do is we're going to fill all of this up over here. Primarily focusing on the water's edge and filling in all this to make it really start to come together. So look forward to that. And to make sure that you are reminded, please remember to like and subscribe, because it's not only a nice thing to do, but it really gives me motivation to do this. And if you enjoyed what you see, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Anybody who leaves a comment, I guarantee I'll respond to you. That's just kind of my personality. So with all that said, let's end with some cinematics, some music, and remember guys, stay safe and tip your servers. Have a nice day.